Okay, we're back live. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I don't really know where I got cut, but
Okay,
the
so
thing
sorry for
about
that one. Okay.
paying the price first is that, yeah, right. Okay, so everybody has to go through the beginning stage, right? And people that pay the price first, since they have more pressure to go
Yes, thank
through, bigger
you.
the challenges. Hold on, let me put that in silent mode. Sorry. So finding their way, is, I mean, to find their way, how hard we work on the business is equally as hard as they work on themselves, right? So try to imagine while you're trying to figure it out, while you're trying to face the bigger pressure that's going around you, and you're trying to figure out how to work it out. But like what the speakers previously mentioned, I mean, all the speakers that shared a while ago, they're so fantastic. They said it all, right? Putting in the hours, working on the schedules, and it's basically mastering what we're supposed to do. Eventually, as we work on ourselves and as we work on the business, we find ourselves, creating the systems, eventually perfecting the system. But it's not anywhere soon as you begin, right? There's so many adjustments that we have to make. So what I'm trying to say is that as people that pay the price first, as we lay the foundations first, I mean the challenges, the pressures, in all it's like carrying the whole world with you, right? But there's a beauty there as you are able to go through that, because when you find your way and as you create the system that's needed to generate the small wins that's needed in our business, or even as a network marketer, right? Because no matter how exciting, we all know this, no matter how excited you are at the beginning, you know we understand later on that the emotions that we have in the first part becomes meaningless as you face the big challenges in front of you, right? Then you know it's all about making decisions. It's all about having the right mindset, and you try to make the adjustments. You grow yourself. The point is we mature along the way, and as we get the results that we need, meaning the results, the checks, the income, these are the things that validate what we do. It empowers us. It gives us like extra win, gives us the sign that we need just to continue, press on, move forward. So, having said this, once we are able to go through the stage and break through the stage as we pay the price first, right? And I speak of this. I mean, I'm sharing this because this is what happened to me. Right? I started at the time, way back 2004, here in Cebu City. I remember clearly that the network marketing industry, I can say, was dead at that time. I even remember a friend telling me, he said, "Wills, I think you are at the wrong time to get involved in that type of business." But I didn't listen to that friend. I just relied on what my gut was telling me. I saw the bigger picture, in that in those times that the network marketing industry was not doing well, right? So as I went through the process, and as you go through the process of paying the price first, if you just don't quit and you break through, something great happens. There's a transformation that we can't explain. I couldn't even explain it. But when you reach that transformation, it's like a point of no return. There is that unshakable belief that springs from all the things that you've been through, and there's so many things, beautiful things that will happen inside of you that will affect the environment around you. So as you're building your teams, working in your groups, as you work on your volume sales, and as you break through the process, that dynamics will all of a sudden shift, will change for the better. In fact, what normally happens is that a winning culture is created because of the foundation that these people that pay the price first did. I mean, these people that laid the foundation, right? So the winning culture that was created is so needed, for everybody. I mean, this is what we want. We want to be victors. We want to be successful, and to be successful, you need to have that winning culture, winning environment, and that's what happens when you break through. When you break through the first part, the beginning part, the winning culture, starts to be evident in your organization and the company. And the greatest thing about that is that when you have that as an advantage, people that come in your business, people who are in your business, all of a sudden they're like set up for success. They're like easily set up for success. Their chances of succeeding are way much higher the time you were just beginning, because based on my experience, I had a lot of people falling out in my first few months of doing the business because I didn't know how to do it then. But when you start to have a winning culture because you just didn't quit, focus on the things that you had to work on, created a system, and all of a sudden people that come in, they have a system that's producing results, that's doable, that's duplicable, and all of a sudden you see, everybody getting their small wins. And I remember, looking back, with how I do things as a network marketer, one thing that I love and one thing that I don't think money can ever buy or replace, the rewards, let's face it, the rewards are great in our industry. It's something that we will always look forward to. It's always something we will always work hard on. But as we work on the business itself, one thing as I built my network in cities and then by countries, one thing I love is, the moments that we had for training, right? Since we're talking about winning culture, what I loved about the trainings, because it was just centered on growth, right? It was centered on growth because the foundation started there. Because I knew I had to change, I had to work on myself, I had to improve myself. We all have to improve ourselves. And if you have that foundations in front of you, if you have that foundation inside of you, it's so easy to lay that on the whole team. And as we built from a few people, from tens, 20s to hundreds, to 1,000, to thousands of people in our organization, we were just so focused on that. And the transformation of these guys, it's something that, like what I said, money can't buy. When all of a sudden they had this, poverty mindset going on before, you can see them in their postures, right? In the look of their eyes. And right now, as they went through their process, as they went through the journey, you see them transform because of this industry. You see them transform because of the culture you've created. And that for me is so overwhelming when you see these guys transform from nothing to something, right? From being commuters to right now they're driving their own cars or living the life, having a great lifestyle as well, or see the value it has added to their families, being debt-free and stuff like that. It's just, that's why I love this industry. So my point, guys, is that as you pay the price, it will help you build the right culture needed for you to succeed. So having said that, for me, the business model of network marketing is, there's a big picture to this. If you see that movie, The Founder, it was there when I shouldn't remember who said it, but people know that McDonald's business is all about burgers and fries, but it was explained there that McDonald's was never about burgers and fries. They were actually in the business of real estate. What we saw were the burger and fries. And I think it's the same thing with our business, with the network marketing industry. It's just not about our products. We have great products, yes. We have great compensation. We have great companies, and I'm all for that, right? But I think the biggest business model that we have to see is that this business is about changing people's lives. That should be our currency, and that should be, and all the businesses, all the organizations that I've seen explode in the industry has been centered on that. And I think if we are able to see that, understand that, and embrace that, and center our growth as leaders towards that, it's just so easy for us to, it's just easy for us to invest time, talent, treasure to our organization, to our downlines, and for it to have a better or next level success. So I'm about to end right now. I just want to share. Allow me just to say this. I'm very proud to be a co-founder of Maximum 88 Corp. It's a small company. We're just 2 years old in the industry, and we're proud that we're able to contribute to that changes. If we all focus on that, there's so many great companies in the industry, and we are just a small picture. A small piece of the whole picture, and we are all focused on the change. On that change, I think we will have a next level explosion in the industry in the next 5 to 10 years. Especially right now that there's so many tools, present, the new normal. I just think with the technology and with the evolving, with the never-ending, change in the industry, I think we're all set for a great level of success. So I just want to congratulate everybody who's watching and for sticking out in the industry. Just don't give up. pay the price continually, make the sacrifices needed, because eventually we're all going to see each other in the finish line or in the success line. All right. So at this point, I just want to thank you all for listening, and I'll be ready to take your questions. So yeah,
Okay,
thank
Mr.
you.
Willis. So there are
Yes.
some questions from your listeners. You had a lot of listeners for today.
All right. Thanks.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so there was a question from one of the listeners. She's asking, what was the most difficult thing for most networkers right now during the pandemic?
Okay. I think for those people who are not really into the online thing, because I know of networkers who've been oriented, the orientation is offline. So the moment that this pandemic happened, it's like a whole new thing for them. So the adjustment, I think that the challenging thing was on the adjustment part, because it's like you had to relearn the whole thing, right? But whatever it is, guys, I think our mindset should always be everything is learnable. Everything can be taught. Everything can be learned. It's just like typing lessons. If you've gone through typing lessons, where we start by typing with a single finger, eventually, if you just keep on practicing, eventually you can type fast with all the fingers. So it's the same thing for whatever challenges you have in front. If you just have that kind of attitude that it can be learned, don't worry, it will be learned.
All right. Okay, great. And another question here. How long would it take for distributors to see success in the network marketing business?
That's a great question. And I just want to set it out. I want to set it straight. Your success will depend on the foundation you're able to build. Um, there are some people that they come in the business, they have no foundation, they have zero foundation. So the process will be longer for them. But I think there are some people that come in that they have quite the foundation. They have gone through some trainings, perhaps in the corporate world or perhaps in church and service. I mean, I had those trainings prior to network marketing. I think I had an advantage to it. So whatever it is, when you come into the business, just have that mindset. As you work on the business, as you work hard on the business, you really have to work hard on yourself equally, meaning work on the foundation, work on the mindset, work on the attitude, because mindset and attitude is everything in the business. Talent, it's okay if you have talent. If you don't have talent, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Work the attitude and mindset beats talent all the time. All right. So just to answer you, it will depend on how fast you're able to build your foundation.
Okay, great. And then we have here from Mr. Xavier Madlangbayan. He says, I am a college student, second year to be exact. How did you start off
Okay.
your first 3 months in the company? Because I plan to grab the best of the best people for my first group. I want a group of good leaders.
Okay. You're young. That's great. You have all the energies. That's good. You have all the connections. I mean, in school, where you're millennial, Gen Z, or Gen Y, you have all the necessary tools. You just have to put in mind that when you do this business, first, you just have to come up with a very doable system, come up with a simple way of inviting them. Just follow the simple principles when you invite, keep it short and simple, just go straight to the point. Just be intriguing. You don't have to give out all the information, and give them an opportunity where have an opportunity or have a time set where you can show them the business. And perhaps if you're able to bring them in, the key is to help them earn right away. Help them earn fast while you're building yourself, while you're working on your foundation. Nothing beats a distributor that while you're working on your business, while you're working yourself, you're earning on the side. That's what I mentioned earlier. It validates, it strengthens your belief, your core beliefs. So even if you're new, but if you're earning bit by bit, it just gives you the motivation needed just to press forward. So just keep doing it. Work on the numbers. It's a numbers game. In this industry, it's always a numbers game. All right. Meaning the more people you talk to, the more activities that you have, the more chances you're going to have greater results. But if you, of course, have lesser, remember what the speaker said a while ago, Mark said about schedules. So the goal is to, fill out your schedule. When I started, just to answer this question, I had a quota or a target of like 25 to 30 people when I started. So that included the guests of my downlines at that time. So I had a target, and it's good to have targets because it's going to keep you on track. If you don't have targets, you're just going to do the business as you please. But if you have targets, regardless of what you feel, you have no choice but to hit it. All right. So, that's my way of answering your question. I hope I was able to add value to that.
Okay, all right. And then another question. from
Yeah.
an anonymous user. Now, how do you teach your people how to adapt to this new normal?
Whatever it is, when it comes to teaching, this is what I believe in, right? So you can't teach something that you're not doing. Okay, so I guess me as a networker, one thing that I've been effective with is that the things that I've been teaching has never been based on books, but based on the things that I have done or the things I've experienced. So I just have to make sure first, before I teach something, I have to make sure that I am doing it and I'm getting results from what I'm doing, so that when I teach it, it doesn't only sound believable, but it's just like I know what I'm talking about, and nothing beats a leader in a team that knows where they're going, right? So my best suggestion for you is that as you teach your members in your teams, just make sure you're an expert to it by putting the number of hours that is needed for you to have the skill set that's necessary for that, for that thing that you're working on, the thing that you want to share or train your people.
All right. Okay. And for the last question for this evening, so what
Okay.
makes you motivated all the time?
Motivated. You know, I think one of also the greatest gifts that God ever given me was the fact that uh, is the knowledge that our brain, our mind is the best thing that the Lord has ever given us. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not being spiritual or anything, but if you believe in a God, He never forces you to, you know, to worship Him. There's no mandatory rule, but it's up to you, right? And it's the same thing with success. Nobody forces you to be poor or rich. It's all up to you. And meaning, it's all about free will. And when I realized that it's all up to me, I just told myself that the world is a buffet. The world is your playing field. You can decide, you can create your destiny, you can create your future, you can create it here. So what I did is I just had to fill up my mind. I had to decide on the things that I want to have, the life that I want to have for my family, for my kids. I mean, I set it all in my mind. I just focused on that, kept on increasing the standards, kept on seeing the bigger picture. And they say if you don't have scary dreams, if you don't have crazy dreams, then I'm sure it doesn't. I mean, nothing's gonna wake you up in the morning and that's gonna get you motivated, right? So what I'm saying is, you gotta have fuel. Vision is the fuel. Goals are the fuel. And if you don't have those, I mean, you're gonna settle for the good stuff, right? There's nothing wrong with good, but that's the problem. A lot of people that are so great, they settle for good. But don't forget, there's better and there's best, right? So we have to choose. See the big picture. It's so easy for us to go get the best. So that's my advice.
All right. Thank you very much. I think a lot of people learned from your session today. We're so sorry for the small hiccup that happened this evening, but
It's okay.
yeah, we that's the thing about technology. It changes sometimes, but everyone I think learned so much from your talk, Mr. Willis, and we do hope that next year on the next live event, hopefully, you can come and join us again for the next Asian Networkers Convention and Expo.
We will be privileged and honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.